Good morning, everyone. Now we will see the order of a system and what is the order and how we can determine the order for a particular system based on the transfer function. And what is the importance of determining the order of a system. All things we know in today's class. Okay. Now look at here. Any of the transfer function that is T of S, any of the transfer function can be represented in the polynomial equations. You can see here. So this is a polynomial equation, which is a numerator one, and below this is also another polynomial equation, which is a denominator. So simply the numerator polynomial equation is denoted as a P of S, and denominator is denoted as a Q of S. So any of the transfer function, we will have a numerator as well as a denominator, right? So you can observe this equation. In the numerator, the maximum S power is M here. Here the maximum S power is M. In the denominator, the maximum S power is N. Okay. So the order of a system can be determined by the maximum S power of the denominator. So here the denominator having power N. So N is the maximum power of the denominator. So order of this system will be nth order. Okay, if this n is a 0, then it is a zero order system. If this n is 1, then it is called first order system. If n is 2, then it is called second order system. So likewise, we can determine the order of the system by seeing its transfer function. So by seeing its transfer function, we can determine the maximum S power in the denominator. So that will be our order of the system. Okay, so this is how we can determine the order of a system by the given transfer function. However, uh, this numerator of the transfer function has some importance, as well as the denominator of the transfer function will also has some importance. What was that? In the previous classes, I have told you that the estimation or the determination of transfer function is much important in order to estimate the stability of a particular system, right? So the stability can be estimated based on the number of poles and zeros. What is pole, what is zero? That we will see here. You can see for this particular transfer function, we can, if we want to write this transfer function in terms of zeros and poles, we can replace this equation with this equation. So the numerator and denominator, you can see the numerator and the denominator, we have this is equation format. For example, we are having a transfer function T of S is equal to S plus 1 by S square plus 2S plus 1. So this is the transfer function that we have got. Consider this example. So this expression is similar to this equation. So from this, we can determine the order of the system. So look at its denominator and check it, the maximum S power, which is 2 here. So here the order of the system, n is 2. That means this transfer function belongs to second order system, or it's a second order system transfer function. And if we want to estimate the zeros and poles of this particular transfer function, we need to convert this equation into this equation. So that means you can see here in the numerator, we need not to take any conversion because it is already in the form of s plus 1. So I'll write this same equation as s plus 1 in the numerator by in the denominator I can factorize this quadratic expression, which is s square plus 2s plus 1. If I factorize this, I'll get s plus 1 whole square, or we can also write s plus 1 by, in the place of whole square, we can write s plus 1 into again s plus 1. Okay, now in the numerator, this 1 determines the 0. So with the help of numerators, if you factorize the numerator expression, polynomial expression, then we will get the number of zeros. That's why you can see in the general representation of the transfer function, the factorizations here s plus z1 is nothing but 0 1, z2 is nothing but 0 2, up to so on zm, where m is the number of zeros, total number of zeros of the system, or this the number of zeros directly depends upon the maximum s power. Look at this expression here. In this expression, the numerator, you can see the maximum s power is m. So this maximum s power in the numerator will also decides the number of zeros. In our example also, we have only s power 1. That means we will get only 1 0 from the numerator. And in the denominator, we can estimate the order of the system. And this order of the system will also specify the number of poles. So you can see the factorization of the denominator polynomial s plus p1 into s plus p2 into s plus p3 up to so on s plus pn. You can see here pn. So the number of poles will be equal to the number n. N is our order of the system. So the maximum s power in the denominator not only decides the order of the system, it also decides the number of poles that exist for that transfer function. Okay, and you can see here in our example, the s power, maximum s power is 2. So n is 2. That means what? We need to get two number of poles. You can see this is pole 1, this is pole 2. So this is how we can determine the zeros and poles with the help of transfer function. Sir, what is the relation between determining the poles, zeros, transfer function, and stability of the control system? You said that the stability of the control system can be determined with the help of transfer function. Then why the concept of zeros and poles are coming? The stability can be estimated from the transfer function with the help of zeros and poles only. With the help of zeros and poles placement in the S domain determines the stability of the system. That clearly we will learn in unit number 3. In the third unit, clearly we will estimate what is stability and what are the different types of stabilities available, and how the zeros and poles will affect the stability of the control system. And all those things can be determined with the help of these zeros and poles. So remember, for any transfer function, we can estimate zeros and poles in order to determine the stability of the system. Okay, so the order of the system can be determined with the help of the maximum power that is having in the denominator, which is n, and this n can also be equal to the number of poles. So if s power n means the order of the system and the poles of the system both are equal. If it is a third order system, then we will get 3 poles. If it is a 10th order system, then we will get 10 poles. So order of the system must be equal to, okay, so order of the system must be equal to the number of poles. So this is one thing, and you may have a doubt that sir, this order can be determined for open loop or closed loop. We can determine the order for both the open loop as well as closed loop systems. So we need to get the transfer function first. From the transfer function, the denominator s power can be seen. With the maximum power of s, we can estimate the order of the system. And if we factorize the numerator polynomial and the denominator polynomial in this format, see, this is the factorization, right? So with the help of the factorization, we can estimate the number of zeros and the number of poles that are existing in that transfer function. So based on the placements of zeros and poles, we can estimate the stability of that particular system. If that system is not stable, then we can bring that system into the stability. We have that chance. Of course, all this stability concept and all we will learn in 3, 4, 5 units. Particularly, we will start from third unit. Okay. In that, at that time, I'll clearly tell you what is stability and all. So this is about the order of the system.